Hey guys, Silent here. We've just completed Doom on stream, which of course means a post-game wrap-up. Now I've got to admit, I'm not the biggest Doom fan. I love the setting, but not necessarily played through all of the games. I own a bucket load of the games. I think I own everything but BFG edition of Doom 3, but I haven't actually played through and completed everything. I've played bits and pieces, but you'll have to forgive me on that. Now, when the latest Doom game came out, I was tentatively excited until I saw the glory kills. My biggest concern was that these were going to actually detract from the fights, mainly because I've gotten used to needing to hide out in the background and shoot off enemies at a distance, and glory kills really require you being up close in order to trigger. And I really didn't think that I would get on with that so well, but I was wrong. By the time I actually got into it, I found glory kills to be amazing and intuitive, and they were just really worked well for me. Comparatively, the combat of Doom compared to other modern shooters, it's much more run and gun, whereas I don't feel the need to hide to replenish my health in a magic shield kind of way. You have to be up close, you have to use those finishers to get health to continue, and that really does kind of force you to play differently compared to what some gamers may be used to nowadays. I found that really to be kind of what I wanted in a game compared to, say, what we're forced to play nowadays. Plot-wise, the game doesn't really kind of make you sit between any huge cutscenes, and that's something that may be a little bit off-putting for people, but if you want to know the story of the game, you have narration going through, you have kind of people on the radio giving you instructions, but there are bits and pieces of lore and storyline dotted throughout the levels, and it's up to you to find them if you want. It doesn't force you to sit through the story, but it lets you explore the story. The story is still there, it's just up to you if you want it. And that's kind of gave me the chance to just run into combat completely. I didn't have to stick around and wait 20 minutes for a cutscene to play through. I just literally ran from room to room shooting things, and that's exactly kind of what I was looking for in a shooter recently. Lengthwise, I did find Doom to be kind of long. It took me about 12 hours to get through. I'm sure there are people out there who can get through in about 5 hours, but I'm not one of them. It took me about 12 hours, and I would have preferred it if maybe it took me maybe 9. If they'd taken like a quarter of the length off, it just would have flowed so much better for me. By the time I got to hour 10, it just started to get a bit samey. I'd gone into hell, back. I was just like, okay, when is this going to end? So if they could have cut down the time a little bit, that would have just made it so much better for me. Maybe kind of had the extra length with optional stuff as opposed to the storyline. I didn't really spend a lot of time going through and exploring stuff, but that was kind of just my game style. I'm not very good at collecting the extras, as anyone who watches me stream will know. I'm not good at going for 100%. I tend to get bored of games very easily if I don't have a definitive, I need to do this. And I did find there are a couple of sections where I was getting just a little bit lost, and maybe they could have made it a bit more easy to find out where you were meant to be going. I found the map horrendous to use. I would have ditched that map entirely. It was not useful to me whatsoever. And so when I was trying to find a couple of locations that I was needing to get to, I was just having complete trouble at that point. I don't think that took me more than 20 minutes to get past in total, but it was just kind of irritating when I'm doing that, but no big deal. Now, one of the things that I'm really looking forward to is playing around with the snap map, the level editor, because it just seems really simple but kind of powerful, and that's something that I want to see. I want to see if I can create more plot line as opposed to just run and gun elements. I want to see if I can put in a story as well as creating the map. If I can balance that, that would be pretty damn perfect for me. Now, when it came to buying the game, I didn't buy it initially. I ended up getting it because I played the demo and the demo blew me away. So I waited until it kind of dropped into my price range because I really wanted the UAC edition, because I'm a sucker for collectibles and I thought the patches would have been great. The patches were disappointing. They felt really cheap compared to patches that you can buy for, say, £3. So having these added as a premium product were just a huge disappointment. But considering that I waited for it to come down in price, the game really made up for that. If I had bought the UAC pack at full price, I would have been really upset. But that's just me personally. Now, throughout the game, I had no problems whatsoever. There was only one bug which I experienced in the demo, where I was standing on top of a little rocky outcrop, and there was I think it was an imp below me. I'm going to link this down below so you can go check it out, but there was an imp below me who was ready for a glory kill, so I hit the glory kill button, and instead of moving me beside the imp, the game just moved me down. So I perform the glory kill, but I'm standing in the rock. And then, because there's no ground underneath me, I just start falling. And granted, I have made this kind of, like, it's only, I think, a 20-30 second clip, but it's just kind of the clip of me falling. So I'll just link that down below so you can check it out to see what I mean. But I didn't encounter anything like that in the actual game itself. I even tried reproducing that just to see if it was patched out. And granted, it may not have been perfect, but it didn't work when I tried doing it. So it all worked out in the end. Now, my thoughts on the game in total are that this was definitely worth the purchase. This is a game that I'm going to enjoy. I may not kind of go through and replay the storyline to collect all the extras, because it is just a lot of linear maps to try and find a lot of extras. And granted, the little extras, the tiny little Doom guys, are kind of awesome. Just there's one where you kind of move the guy's arm up and fist bump him, and that was really damn cute, but it's not something that would warrant me going back through trying to collect everything, so I'm not going to replay, but I am going to be taking a look at other people's maps, building my own map, so there is extra content in the game that will keep me interested, so it's well worth the purchase price to me. But beyond that, 20 years ago, 1996, they actually released a Doom comic, and if you actually see the comic, there is a link to this on my blog, so I'll link my blog down below so you can take a look. But if you go down to the bottom, I start talking about the comic, and this comic is an issue 1. It was never properly released, but the fact that they went so far as to put issue 1 on it makes you think that they were going to try and release this as a series, but apparently they just ended up realizing how bad it was and gave it as a promotional thing. But in this comic, it follows the Doom guy starting off in a berserker rage, trying to tear into a cyber demon, and the berserker power-up wears off, so he's like, oh shit, I gotta go, runs off. And, you know, the thing is hilarious, and it's a 16-page comic, but the guy goes from a berserker rage to finding the BFG to killing the cyber demon, and throughout the entire thing, he's just talking incessantly, he's jabbering away. It really reads like someone wrote and made the comic who has no idea what the game was about. I'm not a huge fan of Doom. I'm not a huge, like, I don't know all of the lore or anything, but to me, one of the things was that the Doom guy is stoic and quiet, and he is the unstoppable force against the demon's immovable object, sort of thing. So it's hilariously bad, and, you know, if one day one of these comics wound up in my hands, I would just love that, just so I could see it. Part of me wants to take the digital copy that's available online and see if I can just remove all of the text to see if that improves the comic at all. But I know that my Photoshop skills aren't that good. I might be able to get away with doing a page, but there's no way that I could do that for the entire comic. But hey, as I say, I'll link the blog post down below so you can find the comic down there. It's available online for free. And it really just kind of, it makes me laugh because it feels like the beginning of the Doom game references the comic. Go read the comic, go play the game, you'll see what I mean. I've been silent, you guys have been great. Welcome to 2017. If you like what I do, subscribe, follow me on Twitch. I stream usually twice a week. If you want to see me play any of the games that I review here, I do it over there. So go ahead, make my day. Have a great one, guys. Thank you very much.